Hey, thanks for watching today. This video is going to cover a lot of ground. We're talking about Florida tax lien auctions, which is hands down the largest season in any state every year of tax property inventory. It's competitive. It's interesting. The rules are complicated if you don't know what you're doing. It's really not that hard when we dig into it a piece at a time. So this video is going to walk you through tax liens and tax deeds, auctions and over the counters, and really just a big focus on that tax lien auction season because we're in it right now. You're going to have hundreds of thousands of properties to choose from. It is just massive. So we're going to show you how to save countless hours of time in your research, find what you're looking for quickly, and just you only have a few weeks to bid on these things, so you have to work smart and work fast. So let's get in and show you how it's done. So we're going to start from ground zero. We're going to talk about how do the auctions work. If you don't like this part and you want to just get to the fun part where we're looking at properties, we'll put a chapter marker in this video so you can skip ahead. But let's talk about the basics. Most counties conduct online tax lien auctions. We'll go through a list of who does and who doesn't in a minute. Bid down interest rate. That means the auction starts at the taxes owed at an 18% interest rate, and you, as the investor, bid that interest rate down from 18% down. So you might win a 10% bid or a 2% bid or who knows, but it's bid down interest format of the auction. One of the things people love about Florida is the 5% penalty interest rate. If the redemption happens in the first year, you get a minimum penalty interest of 5%. Even if it happens almost immediately after the auction, you get that minimum 5% on your money, so you're not wasting your time on a bunch of paper liens that you bought and they all redeem. At least you get your 5%. There's a 2-year redemption period in Florida on the tax liens, but not so fast. Don't get your hopes up because these liens are not foreclosable by the lien holder. That's a fancy way of saying you don't have a path forward, basically, as a lien holder to own the property. What you have to do is, if you hold tax liens on a property, or even if you don't hold tax liens on the property, after 2 years where they don't redeem, that property goes to a tax deed auction where you or anybody could buy it. So if you're the lien holder, you bought it at auction, you hold it 2 years, when the auction comes up, anybody can go buy it. So you could also outbid everybody and buy the property that way, but it's up to you really. What happens for you as the lien holder is that you get your money back out of the proceeds of that sale plus interest. So if you bought a $2,000, if let's say you have $2,000 in liens wrapped up on a property over 2 years, basically, let's say the property deed goes for 50 grand, which is not unheard of. I mean, Florida, the tax deeds can go much higher than that even. Sometimes they go market value. But that 50 grand is going to cover your $2,000 plus interest. And basically, that's how the property is going to get bought by the deed holder. The remaining funds, of course, go into excess funds where the owner can claim them, but that's a whole different story. We're not going to dig into that in this video. The leftovers, there's plenty of leftovers every year. This is anything that is not sold at auction. Those go to the counties and they're held and they're sold over the counter throughout the year at a full 18% interest. So listen closely. If you buy over the counter, you should get the full 18% with no bid down because you didn't buy it at auction. So that's people love the OTC liens to get that full 18%. It's a good rate. Again, those are called county held certificates if you want to know what Florida calls them. All right, let's switch gears and let's go through the life cycle basically for tax liens and deeds. Remember, Florida, you get the lien, you don't get the deed until you buy the deed. So let's just walk through that. A property goes tax delinquent. Step one. It goes to the tax lien auction, which is in May or June. I've already covered this 18% tax lien, 2-year redemption, bid down interest, so you might get it at less than 18% after you buy at auction. Okay, next, the leftovers go over the counter around June or July, and you're going to get the full 18% and buy this from the county. Next, the 2 years basically from that auction go by, and we have a tax deed auction. And these happen all year, every month of the year, every county pretty much does deed auctions all year long. So you could go, if you just want to own property, I would recommend skipping over to that step and just don't even mess with the liens because you can interject at that stage and buy a tax deed without any prior lien on your part. If you want 18% interest, then yes, by all means, go for the liens first. So you're going to buy those from the county at auction, And then lastly, the leftovers from that go to the OTC tax deeds, which are very rare compared to these other ones. And I'm going to demonstrate that. Florida calls OTC tax deeds, they call them lands available. Technically, lands available for taxes. They're very rare. Not every county has them. But to give you an idea, okay, we are here, before I move on, we're in the tax lien auction in May, June. So this is, I've recycled this slide for probably 4 years now, and maybe 8 videos, because this is just the best way I can describe the volume of properties you're going to see at each stage. So right now we're at tax lien auctions at the top level of the funnel. Okay, so May and June of each year, we get that top level, and we're going to see hundreds of thousands of liens going to auction each year, usually over 500,000, sometimes closer to 1 million. Now, by the time the auctions roll around, there will be a redemption. So, usually it's lower than that first number. But this is the largest part of the funnel. The most properties are available at that top level. The second layer, basically, we're talking about the OTC liens that are added throughout the year. There's tens of thousands of those. So remember, hundreds of thousands go to auction, tens of thousands are left over and bought over the counter. Then we have the tax deed auctions scheduled throughout the year. They're not really seasonal from what we can tell. But thousands of properties go at tax deed auction each year. And then lastly, we're talking about leftovers from those tax deed auctions. This means that property went all the way to the tax deed auction and nobody bought it. It was left over. There are hundreds of those. So you can kind of see the progression of this funnel. It keeps on shrinking until you get to the bottom where there's very few OTC tax deeds. Now, in Parcel Fair, what we're going to be looking at in a minute with our live demo, you can buy from any one of these levels, and you can also buy foreclosures on the auctions that we track. So let's just keep moving here. Let's talk about the size of Florida's tax lien auctions. I'm going to throw one caveat in immediately. These totals will increase, and then they're going to decrease because they're going to increase because we had to make this video. We're getting too close to the auctions not to make this video, but there are still 8 out of, I believe, 68 counties left to release. So we have like 60 counties have released auction lists, 8 are remaining. And if you know this the way I do, I bet you anything someone's releasing their list right now while making this video to make this video obsolete by the time I release it. So this is May 14th, 6 p.m. Central. If you're watching this video after that time, there could be a list getting released right now at the end of the day. I don't know. We will check. I mean, we're always checking for these things and adding them as fast as we can. So you're going to see the totals increase, and then you're going to see redemptions between now and the auction, which will decrease it. So the numbers so far, we're right just under that 500,000 mark. I think last year we were over 600,000. This year, right at 459 advertised for auction. 307,000 of those are for improved properties that have some kind of structure on them. Now, a lot of times I tell people about 2/3 to 3/4 of tax lien properties that go to auction typically have a structure. There's lien auctions, 2/3 to 3/4. This one is right on that 2/3 mark at 67%. And that when numbers are this big, it just kind of the average always bears out. So right around the 2/3 mark. The delinquent taxes, a bit of a sticker shock here. Every year it catches me off guard, but they're trying to recover delinquent tax revenue to the tune of $1.78 billion, and that's going to go up once these last 8 counties release. The total property value at auction, remember, you're not buying the property, but the property value that you're buying liens on is going to be over $123 billion when all is said and done. So massive auction season we have on our hands here. If we look at it county by county, we're just going to take the top 10 and give you a snapshot here. Miami-Dade's got about 40,000 liens advertised. It'll probably go down with some redemptions, but that's a big auction. 40,000 might be the biggest auction we've seen this year. The big outlier here as well, when you look at some of these coastal towns, that structure percentage is huge. Miami-Dade, 92% of them have some kind of structure. Some of these are going to be units and condos or apartment buildings, and those are all counted as structural value. So not many vacant land parcels in counties like Miami-Dade or Broward. Now, what's cool is if you look just at number 2 on the list at Lee County, it's also a very large auction with almost 33,000 properties, but that structure percent's more like 39%. So whole different ballgame. If your strategy is land for whatever reason, you want to focus on counties at lower structure percentage just because of the sheer supply of vacant land. On the flip side, if you just want structures, hey, you know what? go for that opposite end of the spectrum, 92%, 95% structures, 86%. Some of these are just, some of these auctions are just full of structures and units of buildings. So that's a good snapshot of those top 10 counties. You'll notice we go from about 40,000 liens in Miami-Dade. Highlands, number 10, is still over 15,000. So massive auctions on our hands here. All right, lastly, we're going to zip through this pretty quick because this is where are these auctions held? Remember I said some are on, or most are online, a few in person. We're actually going to break it down. Lien Hub covers a lot of these online. 31 counties listed here. I will not read those to you. You can just look at it on your own. TaxSearchSale.com is online. 17 counties with them. I get a lot of people telling me Real Auction, like I've had so many people say, oh, well, Real Auction runs Florida, the whole state. Well, that's not true. They only have 11 counties. They are online, 11 counties right there. WFBS USA is a lesser known one with 3 counties, Leon, Levy, and Marion. Zeus Auction has 1 county, St. John's. And individual auctions, we have 3 of those, Hendry, Highlands, and Manatee. And lastly, we have the one in-person auction. It was Union County. It is not released yet. So we don't have an advertisement for Union. Once we get it, if it happens to be online, then the whole state will be online. But at this point, from previous years, we're saying it's in person, just off historical data. Okay, so we've gotten through the primer. You know what you're doing. Let's move over and talk about how to research these sales. So this is parcelfair.com, and what I want to show you right off the bat is if you're on this site and once you've logged in, you go to this dashboard, and something comical I noticed today is we have the top deed and foreclosure auctions on the left panel here, and the top lien auctions on the right panel. The lien auctions, these are basically the top auctions in the next couple months by property count. You'll notice that Florida ran the board. It's our top list from that video. I'm sorry, not the video, from that slide that I showed you of all those auctions. So they are sorted by date. So you're going to have, May 28th, May 31st, June 1st, June 2nd. That's kind of where these auctions are. A lot of them happen on the same day. So that's gives you a good idea of what we're looking at as the top auctions. If you keep going down the page, there's actually OTC markets here too. I don't know if you've used the dashboard or not, but deed OTC markets on the left, lien OTC markets on the right. Moving right along, I'm going to the auction calendar, and what we're going to do, actually I'm going to start over here and go to all auctions in Florida. Right now we're tracking 1,441 auctions. Well, that's a lot more than just the lien auctions. So what we're going to do, we have this nice graphic up top to show you these 2 blue bars, deed and foreclosure auctions. Those go throughout the year. So I want to filter those out and focus on just these green auctions here. You'll notice that the August green auction here, that's because sometimes a resale happens if a county has too many leftovers. So we put that in a light shade of green in case that happens in August this year. But May and June are really the prime highlight here. So to filter down to that, in this all auction types drop down, I'm going to go to tax lien auctions only. We're going to filter out everything else. Just look at tax lien auctions. Much smaller list. So 34 of them happening in May that are scheduled, and 29 in June. Most of them are on June 1st, quite a few. So looking at this, you can see the property count. If you click on the auction, you can see where it is. This one's on Lien Hub. We'll link you straight to the source and the list if you want to go to it. You can also add the auction to your calendar using this blue button. It'll prompt you to drop in an email where you want to send it. You can send that calendar invite to you, your business partner, your friend, whoever. And basically, it puts the auction on their calendar with the time, location, and link back to Parcel Fair so you can view what's in the auction. I find it's been a useful thing. Someone suggested it, and it was kind of on our back burner for a while, but now we've got it on site. So yeah, add those auctions to your calendar if you're going to keep them or look at them. But again, there's so much to look at here. I'm really going to just kind of zone in. You see, Indian River and Lake have not released yet. They're scheduled. We do not have lists yet. They're going to probably pop up while we're making this video. So. Back up to May, we're just kind of, it's a little overwhelming. There's so many auctions on a single day here and tens of thousands of properties, hundreds of thousands if you look at the whole state. So let's take a county. I'm going to close out my tab here. And what I'd like to do, I'm going to start in Broward County. That's always an interesting one. And I'm going to hit only map parcels from this auction. The difference in these 2 options right here, the first option is going to show you everything, liens, deeds, foreclosures, over-the-counters, and auction. We don't want to do that. We just want to see the parcels in this auction. So I'm going to click on that. And These are the biggest auctions in the nation, so they are slow to load because it's just time and space copying all that mapping data over the internet. This will take a second. Okay, so here we are. We've you can see the screen painting properties, just thousands at a time here. So in the meantime, I'm going to click over on the right to my markers and overlays, draw the county borders, and come back. So that basically shows me, and I'm going to flip over to map too for contrast. This is the county we're looking at. So you can notice, like on the west side of the county, we have a massive wildlife area where you don't see tax liens. On the east side near the coast, we have a lot of tax liens. Uh, in fact, 31,816. So let's go back to satellite so we can see what we're doing here. I'm going to zoom in. I always want to see the coastal properties. It's fun. It's exciting, even if they're going to redeem. We're going to check them anyways. So when you're looking at some of these high rises, you can imagine the high rise is probably not tax delinquent, but all of these units in it are. And I clicked one right off the bat. I was hoping I would. Notice there's like 15 different liens, and they're Unit 2F, Unit 2H, Unit 3C. We've tried to get as best we can a little bit of information in here so you know which is which. And you can click on it and go basically to the property report and see. We can't get a picture of the unit on Google Street View, but we can get the satellite view and all this other information. So what we're going to basically see here is the county values it at $579,000. We have one tax lien available for $11,003. It's an occupied unit. It's Unit 3C of the condo. And this purchase option here is pretty helpful because it's going to show us when and where the auction is and how much the opening bid is. It also takes us to the auction source, the list, and add it to your calendar all right here so you can track this property. You can also add it to a list. You can, well, first of all, add it to our favorites right here. Further down the screen, you can add it to a list, create a new list. And let's call it Florida liens. And there we go. It's in my Florida liens list, which I can now click on. And that's one way to track your research. We've also added this new button. You probably haven't seen it before. It's the clear title button. In Florida, this is not going to be that useful on tax liens because you can't clear a title unless you buy a deed. But this button's here. So if you're buying deeds, just put that in the back of your mind. That button is here to get you a free consultation with tax title services to understand what that process looks like. Now on the right side, we'll move on to another property after this, but property card, that's going to take us to the Broward County site to this property, tell us some more information about it. All of these links are useful, the tax collector, the comptroller, the lien auction site, so many different places, even the GIS map, and take you straight to that property to look at the county sources and the county records if you want to dig deeper. Moving on down, you can do owner research, skip tracing, property reports, all those things. So that's kind of useful too. All right, let's look at one more property in this county, and we're going to pick a single house over here. And what I want to show you here is we actually have a 1.6 million valuation by the county, and I wanted to point out that we have a 1.54 ARV estimate using comps and a $7,000 a month estimated rent. So these two estimates are kind of a new feature we added about a month ago. If you click on the comps buttons, it will take you to the actual comps on screen with the information. The top property in green is the one we're talking about. The properties below it are the comps. There's a far right column is the match percentage over here. We have the range in miles, the price it's sold for, the date it's sold for, and all this information to help you, the beds and bath count, square footage. So you can do that. And just below that, we have those rental comps too. Very similar table. However, it focuses on comparable rental properties nearby. Again, with that match percentage and the distance over here to show you basically how relevant these are. If you're on a mobile device or just prefer a different view than a table, there's actually a cards view. You can click this view button and go cards and get a look at it as separate property looking kind of card. I call them cards, whatever you want to call them. But that's just another way you can look at those comps and get your head around what the values are for properties like this. So, if you're buying a property and not a lien, this is probably a better feature for you, but I wanted to take a second and show you those comps as well while we're here. It does help you establish the property value, even if it is a lien. You just won't care about the rent estimate quite as much. There's so much I could show you. I mean, the only way to really navigate this auction season is just to get in here and play around. I don't know what counties you're interested in, but they're all here except for the 8 that haven't released yet, and they will be here shortly. So get in here, play around with this. If you're looking at a list this small of 424, you might want to actually view as a list. We help you out there on the right side. View results as a list. And those 424 properties are now on your screen. Sortable columns. You can sort by the value. Most expensive one is 420 million. That makes sense. It's the Disney parks there, the hotels. And just moving down the list, uh, you can sort by acreage. You can sort by amount due. Just so many things you can do here. If you're a list person, you can even save these results to a list if you want to keep them for later. Save all 424 properties to a list for later. All right, so I've shown you two big counties, and maybe we'll check out one smaller one. Let's see, Baker's probably uh, a bit smaller. Yeah, let's go liens only, upcoming auctions. Yeah, Baker's a much smaller. So you have some of these smaller counties to deal with too, where you may have less competition or whatever, but there's some nice rural parcels of land there at 700 acres and 500 acres. So yeah, you can buy liens on so many different things in Florida. So much to choose from. I can't even scratch the surface in a video, but using Parcel Fair, you can get through there fast. You can get through all these auctions or as many as you want. And yeah, so I hope this video really helped you get prepared for the season. Maybe it gives you awareness of like what's available if you didn't know already. But it's a massive season. The liens are a great investment vehicle. Get that interest rate as high as you can. And so yeah, please subscribe to this channel if you enjoy these videos. Like this video if you want to see more videos like it. We'll make more. And of course, reach out to us with questions or discussion on the YouTube comments, or you can go to our website here at parcelfair.com, click on the contact form. That gives us a direct email. We'll get right back to you. And so yeah, thanks for watching and have a great day.